We made it. All right. Sorry about that.
Happy April Fool's Day.
Happy April Fools. April Fools.
Right? We should
All
have
right.
rolled with that. Leaned in hard.
All right. Hey, everyone. This is Truth Lies Shenanigans. I am Neo Nix, and thank you so much for joining us. In today's show, we've got all hot topics because there is a lot to talk about. In quick fire, Michael Strahan fills in his iconic gap. Then I'll be talking about the Derek Chauvin trial for the murder of George Floyd. Johnny Storm wants to discuss an Instagrammer's problems with Botox. Rob B is pissed about people getting on planes with fake COVID tests. And Liz Z has got more crazy shenanigans, but this time with Lil Nas X and his Satan shoes with a drop of human blood. And because of Lil Nas X and his Satan shoes, our shenanigans game show will be some righteous Bible trivia. All right, now before we get into the show, let's meet your co-hosts, our professor, writer, editor, journalist out of Washington, D.C., Miss Lizzie Enders.
Can't hear you, Liz.
Liz, can't hear you, my friend. Just aggressively wiggling that audio cable around. I think that's what happened.
It came out. Technical issues galore. All right, we're going to come back to our professor and writer and journalist. We're going to move right on to our rock star with the rock band Fallen Machine, coming to you from Sudbury, Ontario, Mr. Rob B. Rock.
Wow, this is just turning out to be such an interesting Wednesday evening.
Isn't it?
Right? From a production standpoint, this is just all kinds of fun. How well do you roll with the curveball? But actually, I wanted to send a very special shout out to my friend Paul. It is his birthday today. Paul is a remarkable individual. He's a single dad. He's absolutely crushing it. Dedicated teacher, amazing sports enthusiast, and just he teaches through every outlet that he has. Just a really wonderful person that I've known for last decade and change. So happy birthday, Paul.
Nice. Happy birthday, Paul. Happy birthday, Paul. Still can't hear you, Lizzie.
Still can't hear you, Liz.
All right. Streaming from Atlanta, Georgia, college student, model, actress, and co-host of Truth Lies Shenanigans Unscripted, Miss Gianni Storm.
Hello, guys. Happy Wednesday. It doesn't feel like a Wednesday. It feels kind of like the weekend. I don't know. It's a very lax day, maybe because we're rained out here in Atlanta, but overall, very chill, very cool. I'm still binge watching Good Girls from Netflix. So if you guys have heard that show, let me know what you think of it in the comments.
Good Girls. That's that show with those three women who they rob a bank or something.
Yes, they robbed a bank, but that's not all they do. They're like total criminal. Well, they're not masterminds, but they kind of come up with these different schemes to get money. It's like they're in this chase. They're always owing money, and yeah, it's hilarious and it's very fun. I love it.
All right, we'll have to check it out. We'll have to check it out. All right, Lizzie, are we back? Nope.
No. Maybe come in and
maybe
out.
drop off, come back in. See if that helps. All right. All right, Jeff.
You know what that means.
Real quick, remind people when and where they can watch you on TLS Unscripted.
Yes, you can watch Unscripted Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Instagram. And you can watch me and the lovely Olivia E.
Olivia E. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and let me tell you guys a little bit about TLS and what we are. Let's see. Yeah. So if you've never been, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure some things out at the same time. So let me tell you a bit about us. Our hosts and our guests share their truths and opinions with you, call out those lies, and point out any ridiculous shenanigans going on. And on our show, we always try to have some fun with shenanigans of our own. The show streams live just about everywhere. You can quickly find us on YouTube. Just go to TLSshow.com or search at TLSLiveShow across all major social media platforms. And you can listen to Truth Lies Shenanigans anytime on iTunes or anywhere you listen to podcasts. All right, let's go ahead into our quick fire and hope that Lizzie gets back in here.
Hope we get a girl band.
All right, so former football player and current Good Morning America anchor Michael Strahan decided to temporarily fill in the iconic gap in his teeth to see if he liked it. So, what say you? Should he fix it or should he leave it? Johnny Storm.
He should fix it
Fix it. You like
indefinitely.
it better. You like it better. Robbie?
I thought that he had a very endearing smile to begin with, so keep it.
Yeah, I say keep it. You look great. I mean, everybody's got their thing, right? I mean, come on. Something makes you got to make you look
I
special,
don't
right?
know.
Something's got to make you look
I
special.
feel like since I didn't know him or see him that much, when I first saw him and it was with his teeth like fixed, it looked good. So then when I saw him with his gap, I'm like, oh, because I didn't know him for his gap, like most people.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's an iconic gap. I think Homer jumped across it in one of the episodes of The Simpsons.
I don't know. It was the one thing that made him uniquely Michael Strahan. I don't know. So let me ask you this: is there something that you guys would change about yourself if you had the ability to?
There's nothing that I would alter about myself cosmetically. If it's within my ability to alter it over time, say, hey, I'd like to lose so many pounds of chubby and put on so many pounds of fat. I can do that if I work at it. If I want, I'm not going to turn around and say, hey, I want a full head of hair. I'm not growing that. I can grow, I'm at that age where I can grow a full back of hair. Fantastic. Who wants that?
Yeah.
What about you,
But
I
Gianni?
would
no,
probably do like cosmetic in the. I would do teeth. I would do something with my teeth. I wouldn't get veneers, but I would probably get braces again. I still have like a little bit of an overbite that I don't like. So like little things like that, or yeah,
Okay.
something
Yeah.
like that.
I don't know that I want to change much. I mean, I'm with Rob B on losing a few pounds. So I could definitely do that. I mean, I
Yeah,
might do lipo at
yeah,
some point simply because fat
really.
cells don't disappear, right? Fat cells don't disappear. All they do is they're little balloons. They grow and expand. That's all they do. So once you got them, you got them. That's why people who are overweight they tend to
It's
stay
hard to
overweight.
lose.
Hmm.
It's hard to lose fat, but it does, like you said, over time. Like you and Rob said, it's like if you put in the work for years, but like really put in the work
It takes
consistently,
years. It
it'll be
takes
gone.
years.
mhm,
Yeah, it
It
does
takes
take
years.
years. Definitely, definitely.
mhm.
Yeah, it
The
takes years.
lifestyle.
All right, we still don't have our girl Lizzie. I hope she's all right.
Well, she might be rebooting the computer. That's a slow process.
All right. Well, hopefully
Liz.
she's okay. Well, let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and get into our hot topic.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
All right. So the way it works, our hosts bring you hot topics they want to share. We'll ask, is it truth, lies, or shenanigans? And our panel will talk about it for a bit until time is up. And then we'll go to our audience for questions and comments. So make sure you're commenting in any of those threads. I see some comments going on right now. By the way, Jose says he's got a great smile. Daxon said he should have left it. And
Oh,
yep, I totally agree with
Yeah.
all of you. I think he should have left it. Apparently his family thought he should have left it. All right.
temporary though.
All right.
It's not like a hockey player who's got hockey teeth. This is a football player who's played with a mouth and face guard. He's got a beautiful smile.
He does.
Keep it.
Yeah, he
He
does
does.
have a nice smile though.
Yeah, now hockey
But
players, they so,
Yeah, I mean, a hockey player smile is a hockey player smile. It looks like a piano keyboard. You got a little bit of white and black spaces.
yeah.
oh my God, ew.
All right. It's gonna be hard to change gears. So we need to get into a difficult subject to talk about. We're talking Derek Chauvin. I'm gonna start out with Derek Chauvin. One of the hottest topics of the week, the trial of Derek Chauvin, Derek Floyd's murderer. Monday, opening statements and the first prosecution witnesses were on the stand. They opened with a video of the murder of Derek Chauvin kneeling on George Floyd's neck for the infamous 9 minutes. But then prosecutors brought in what I would say was a surprise to me because I hadn't heard about her. But there was a dispatcher named Jenna Scurry who happened to be viewing the situation on surveillance cameras, and she shared how she was concerned that something was not right as she was watching them.
They had changed. They had come from the back of the squad to the ground, and my instincts were telling me that something's wrong. Something is not right. I don't know what, but something wasn't right. I took that instinct and I called the sergeant. If this was a form of use of force, I was calling to let them know.
So she ended up calling the sergeant to report it, and here's the clip of that call to the sergeant.
And then, I didn't know, you can call me a snitch if you want to, but we have the cameras up for 320's call. Oh, did they already put him in the, they must have already started moving him. And 320 over at Cup Foods.
Okay.
I don't know if they had used force or not. They got something out of the back of the squad, and all of them sat on this man.
Sat on this man's back. I don't want to be a snitch. Lizzie, are you here with us?
Am I? Can you hear me?
You are here with us. We're so happy to have you back. I'll reintroduce you later in the show.
This damn technology, man, it is not doing me any justice right now. So what's the question on the table?
No question. I was just making sure you were still with us. But yeah, we just had Jenna Scurry talk about how she was watching remotely as Chauvin and his partners were standing on the guy's back for quite a while.
Nice.
Now, day two.
Oh, wait.
Go ahead, Jen.
Was this when they say that she saw them virtually, was this not the case that everybody saw, like the bystanders, like the actual incident?
She was literally watching them from a surveillance camera across the street. She could literally see.
Oh,
she could literally see
there's someone
them
from dispatch who could see simultaneously what was happening while she's on the phones, and yeah.
She literally watched them take him out of the car. They put him in, then she saw them take him out, and then kneel on him. And she even said that she was watching the video and she thought the video was stuck or something because they weren't moving for so long.
wow.
Sitting
Yeah,
on
she
his
said
neck.
the screen had frozen, just
Yeah.
like mine
So she
did.
called the sergeant. Yeah.
Well, no. She
Yeah.
called the sergeant because she thought that there was something
report it.
amiss. She thought
Yeah.
that there might have been some type of
Abuse of power.
yeah. All right. Then day two focused on the bystanders watching the film of the incident. This video is from one of the officers, Tao Thao. I'm not sure I'm not saying his name right. His body cam as Chauvin is killing him.
You know it's bogus. You can't even look at me like a man because you a bum, bro. He's not even resisting arrest right now, bro. He's stopping his breathing right now, bro. You think that's cool? Really a firefighter?
Yes, I am from Minneapolis.
Okay, bro, you get on the sidewalk. You think that's okay? Check his pulse.
And then, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so one of the interesting things, so that particular firefighter, I don't know if you have video of her.
I do.
But so I'll wait until you show the video of her because I'll talk about her interaction, her back and forth with the defense attorney.
Yep. All right, so we have now I did want to point out the boxer Donald Williams, who was the most vocal in the video. He testified.
MMA fighter, MMA.
MMA. All right. Saying that he ended up calling 911 to actually report a murder.
At some point, did you make a 911 call?
That is correct. I did call the police on the police.
Right. And why did you do that?
Because I believe I witnessed a murder.
I listened to his call. They actually played it, and yeah, he was like, "Look, he was murdered. This guy was just murdered in front of me." Because I don't know. Then we also had the two young children who took the stand yesterday, including teen Darnella Frazier, and she filmed and posted the first viral video that we all saw, and she was talking about how that video affected her.
It's been nights. I stayed up apologizing and apologizing to George Floyd for not doing more and not physically interacting and not saving his life.
That was tough for me because I am with kids, so listening to her, it's tough. It's tough. But it's just two little kids because her young cousin with her as well. I think who was 9 years old at the time. She's I think turning 10. She testified as well. I didn't put that on here though. And then we had firefighter, as Lizzie was talking, firefighter Genevieve Hansen. Now, she multiple times insisted on and requested that the officers check for a pulse or allow her to perform life saving procedures.
I offered to walk them through it or told them, if he doesn't have a pulse, you need to start compressions, and that wasn't done either. I would have been able to provide medical attention to the best of my abilities, and this human was denied that right.
I just have one more, Lizzie. I'll let you start off, but I just have one more. Then today we had Charles McLean, one of the first bystanders on the scene. You might have heard him if you watched the original video, saying you can't win to George Floyd just before George Floyd called out to his dead mother, and repeatedly saying, he said he can't breathe. Well, he absolutely broke down the stand today, also testifying that he spoke to Chauvin after Floyd was taken away, saying, quote, "I don't respect what you did." Um, so the trial, of course, brings the raw emotions of that back for a lot of people. I'm going to go ahead and let you talk, Lizzie, but my question to you guys is, what are you feeling? Has this brought up any feelings for you? Has it any resurgence of those feelings that we were feeling when we first saw the video? And second, is there any way that he goes free after this trial? Go ahead, Lizzie.
I actually have not watched any of the trial this week. I've watched the snippets. I've read some articles about what has transpired on the witness stand, on the exchanges between the witnesses and the prosecution, the witnesses and the defense. But I've purposely kept myself at a distance, at bay, because I didn't want to be triggered. I didn't want to experience it again. But like you said, when the 17-year-old witness testified and told, what she saw, why she started filming, and then the PTSD, the trauma that she experienced after that. I read that in an article, and then I teared up in reading that, just because, in addition to what happened to George Floyd, this has been traumatic for everyone,
Yeah.
including the people that were there at the scene, who saw it firsthand, and who were trying to make a difference as best they could at the time. As far as a firefighter is concerned, so she had a very testy exchange with the defense attorney,
She did.
who kept trying to get her to admit that people in the crowd were heckling the police officers, were heckling Derek Chauvin, were screaming at them, cursing at them, or whatever. And she wasn't buying it. She was just like, "I'm a firefighter. I go in, I save people. It's my job to keep my eye on the prize, regardless of any outside distractions." Now, imagine if I stopped fighting a fire because someone was yelling at me. Imagine if I stopped treating someone who was in distress if someone was yelling at me. But the one thing that I took note of, and I probably would have asked him, and thank goodness I haven't had to be a witness for anything on the stand. The defense kept saying, but all of these bystanders were yelling at the police officers, calling them names, screaming at them. And my thing, okay, if he could hear all of this, if he could be distracted by all of this ambient noise, this outside influence, he had to have heard what they were saying to him, which he did, because he described, the curse words, the inflammatory language they were using. But he also had to hear when they were saying, "Check his pulse. He's not breathing. He went limp.
He's
I think
unresponsive.
we killed him. He's unresponsive." He had to hear all of that in 9 minutes. He had to hear all of that. And not once did he stop to check to see if George Floyd was okay. She even responded, I think she, along with another witness, responded that he looked like he was out of his body, like he looked like he wasn't there, almost, talking about Derek Chauvin. There was nothing behind his eyes. And so for the defense, you can't have it both ways, that he was scared and intimidated and didn't know what to do because all these people were screaming at him. The people weren't, threatening to hurt him, to harm him. They were begging for him to tend to check on George Floyd, and he failed to do that. Your
One of the
question, I'm sorry,
okay.
go ahead.
I'll say one of the paramedics I think testified, or maybe not the paramedics. I don't remember who gave this testimony, but someone was saying that even when they got there, they had to ask them. The paramedics got there. They had to ask him to get off him, and he didn't
Yes.
initially. Chauvin still did not. They had to actually literally move Chauvin off of him. So I mean, it's like he was. If you look at the video, and I know a lot of people have, but he had to have been unresponsive, probably dead for probably at least 3 minutes of that time frame.
I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure he was cuffed at this time, right?
He was cuffed from the
Yeah.
beginning, from the
He was
entire 9
cuffed.
minutes.
He was cuffed, he was down, he was basically in custody. What if Derek Chauvin takes the stand, which, I mean, it's his right to, it's everyone's right to, testify on their own behalf. I don't know if he will, but if he takes the stand, I mean, the question has to be, in 9 minutes, why didn't you get up? Why didn't you allow him to take a breath?
I mean, I
Like,
hope the prosecution gets a chance at him.
what were
Oh,
you
yeah.
hoping to accomplish in 9, like, even if you were in a wrestling match, a boxing match, or whatever, standing 8 count, like, after the 8 count, you're done. It's over. No mas.
Yeah,
And
9
he
minutes,
went
29 seconds.
9 minutes, 29 seconds. Come on now. It does
Another
not
part of
take.
the defense was another sorry, Liz, but another part of the defense was that Derek Chauvin said that he was doing what he was trained to do. So I don't know where they're gonna use that defense. I have no idea how they're
Yeah, I
gonna use
remember. I
that.
remember
So,
reading that because that's absolutely ridiculous. Tamika Turner
yeah.
Graydon says, "I don't have the mental strength to watch the case," and I get that.
Agreed.
I get that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's. I have to admit, I'm listening to some of these people talk, and you know, it when we talk about the resurgent feelings, I mean, it surges right back up. I haven't rewatched the video, but I just remember what I was looking at and the feelings that I had that day. I wanted to just throw my computer at the wall. I was so angry.
But also think about the idea that most people say when things like this happen, when there's a confrontation between civilians and police that turns violent. And the first thing that a lot of people say is, well, you should have complied. Well, how was he not complying in the 9 minutes and 29 seconds that he was on the ground with the knee on his neck?
I mean,
When he was no longer responsive, how was he not being
when he
compliant
was
then?
dead, how could you come? He was literally dead. Let's be honest. The guy was dead. He had no pulse. He was dead.
So
And
how are you not compliant?
how are you not in compliance?
They keep using every excuse in the book, and then they say it could be that he was on drugs ahead of time, which caused him to. That's why he couldn't breathe for that amount of time, or something like that, because he had drugs in his system.
Ephraim Haile Selassie says
So
America is on trial.
Drugs in your system. Well, one, and even though the medical examiner, declared it a homicide doesn't necessarily mean murder. Homicide means that, he died of unnatural causes. He died of some other type of trauma. However,
yeah,
not once did the medical examiner say he died because he was on drugs.
Yeah.
He died of a drug
Yeah.
overdose.
Yeah.
That's not what
right.
caused his death.
No.
No.
Real quick, and I want to get Rob B in here, but real
Yeah.
quick, I want to say Sherry Blaine Priest. I have been watching the George Floyd murder trial daily, witness testimony, the police cam video tell a really clear story. Abby, what are your thoughts?
It's I'm with my fellow co-host that the footage from the trial, the even the snippets, it brings you back to ground zero very, very quickly emotionally. It's absolutely heartbreaking to hear the witness testimony, to hear that heartbreak in their voices, and that's it. Like now, the prolonged psychological issues that these people have because they were denied the ability, the freedom to interact to save a person's life, and that's it. Like I love the recap that you did, Liz, where if people are yelling, am I going to stop delivering care to someone? Well, and most firefighters are trained paramedics. I don't know how it is in the U.S., but in Canada, that's absolutely the norm. When you see a big red truck by, it's like, all right, so these are firefighters, and these are absolutely healthcare responders. So she had the ability to intervene, and she was trying to intervene as a citizen and as a professional. She was trying to perform her duty and denied that. And I think that that's just how everyone on scene felt, just completely unable to do anything to change what's transpiring in front of you. It's really deplorable, and I really, really hope that Chauvin gets what's coming to him. I hope that, because they've come after him on numerous charges, and I hope that something will stick so that this boy goes away. He murdered someone in broad daylight with plenty of witnesses.
I mean, this is one of those cases that's so cut and dry that, I mean, if he doesn't get prosecuted for something, then I can't see anything but America going off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so my bestie, we had Carlotta Walls on like maybe a month ago, maybe almost a month and a half ago. And her daughter right now is in Minneapolis with her family, with her husband and her in-laws or whatever. So I asked her yesterday, I'm like, what's the pulse of the citizens of Minneapolis right now? Are people watching this? Are people on edge? And she said, absolutely. Everyone is nervous. Everyone is afraid because they know what's going to happen if he's not convicted of anything.
Oh.
And so that's why I appreciate that there are at least 3 charges. The jury has the choice to convict on 2nd degree, 3rd degree, and manslaughter, among some of the other charges. So that gives them a little bit of wiggle room. But she said, absolutely, the citizens of Minnesota on both sides, on the people who think that Chauvin was in the wrong, but also the people who are on the side of the police officers. Everyone is nervous right now because we all know if he gets off, this might be the one. This just might be the one that destroys a good portion of our country.
No
So
question.
yes, everyone is nervous. Everyone is kind of like waiting with bated breath, sitting on the edge of their seat, hoping and praying that justice is served.
I mean, what would that say if he is acquitted? What does that say?
That there is no justice for a Black man in this country. Let's call a spade a spade. That there's no justice there is a target on your back. There's no justice at all. At all.
He's got to.
I feel like
I
it's
just
like
can't even imagine it.
We will have to assume that if he does get off, the next acquittal is going to be Kyle Rittenhouse, the young teenager who killed 2 people and injured a third when he took his assault rifle and opened fire doing a protest in a city that he had no business being there, with a weapon that he had no business having to begin with. So it'll be the trickle-down effect. So yeah, I haven't been watching because I want a sense of peace a little bit before, peace of mind, if you will, before the verdict comes in. But I've been thinking about it for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I'll admit I haven't been watching like every minute of it. I'm so busy during the day anyway, but it's I don't know, just the clips are enough. I mean, I read about it, I look through it, I listen to, I've rewatched several of the full testimonies, and man, it's just even being in those people's shoes for just a moment and watching this
Yeah.
live is so tough. So tough. I mean, I
I
just
feel
can't
bad when
imagine
they
being a
said that they
9-year-old
couldn't.
watching that. I mean,
Yeah.
just the PTSD behind that.
What were you saying, Gianni?
I said I feel bad that they said, or one of the bystanders mentioned that she couldn't do anything because she felt like the highest power was there already, meaning the police officers. So I felt like when Neo asked us, what would this mean if Derek, I don't know how to say his last name, but
Chauvin.
Derek, the murderer,
Chauvin.
Chauvin, yeah. Whenever, if he does get off, what this would mean, I think this would mean that not only will we like most people will not respect police officers, but I think that it would be we would probably try to find an alternative. Like there, I don't know, maybe it would be something as I don't know, but I definitely feel like it would be World War IV in some respects, and I do think that it would be like
That's accurate.
people not wanting police around, or like maybe they'll feel like, well, we can be our own police. We can delegate what
Something's
needs
gonna
to be
happen. Something's gonna
something.
happen when
Yeah.
he gets off.
I'm with Neo. I would say that it's the powder keg of the last 4 years, and this as the catalyst. If he were to be acquitted, that would just be that you're lighting the fuse and letting it go off. It's
If,
Oh yeah.
if he is
Oh
acquitted,
yeah.
Rob, you better open the border. I am coming up there. I am
fuck
not
that.
Me
staying.
too.
Are you kidding?
I
We're
can't
gonna
stay
get the
here.
beavers. We're gonna get the beavers to help us reinforce and build a wall. Like just
Reinforced.
we want to keep the cooties out now. If the country's tearing itself, but I mean, when we first started talking about this, when it initially happened, this is something that we were talking about. That this is something that could absolutely tear apart the fabric of America. That's it's a huge. It's a very divisive event, and yeah, like an acquittal would completely invalidate the police services, at least in that state. I know that, like Johnny was saying, it wouldn't be a matter of rising up and creating your own police force because, well, there are people in power who would oppose that and tell you that these are militia groups, that these are vigilante groups, and that's not
Right.
going to they're not going to stand for it. So that's where it becomes this powder keg. Boom.
Right.
So
Let me get
it's.
these
I really
comments
hope that the
online.
prosecution has their act together and they don't slip up.
All right.
Yeah.
One last point, very quickly, because Gianni touched on this a little bit, how the bystanders and everyone there were at a crossroads because they couldn't help him. They wanted to, they couldn't help him. And you have a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks who are, I would have done this, I would have
Mhm.
done that. And I don't mean to say
Yeah.
this to offend, but I'm glad they did not, because we would be talking about more deaths besides George Floyd. Those police
I was
officers
thinking
were
that too.
they
For
would have
sure.
opened fire with the quickness, without hesitation. You saw how amped up the Asian officer was. He was
Yeah.
ready.
Yep.
He was ready. And so I appreciate that there was proper restraint used, even though George Floyd died in the end. But we didn't need 3 or 4 more people, especially since there were children there. We didn't need more people to die on this day as well.
Yeah. So I think that this is Sherry Blaine Priest. I think that that is the part that crushes everyone. People wanted to help and were denied. Yeah, and I agree with
They
that because
couldn't.
when I'm listening to um, the MMA fighter, what was his name again? I don't know why it's leaving my head. But when I'm listening to the MMA fighter, I'm like, yes, that's what I mean. What he was saying was what I was feeling. Like, good, he was like word for word what I was thinking. Um, so it's infuriating. This is Jacqueline Robinson. It's infuriating that black folks have to have video evidence and a sympathetic victim to receive a modicum of justice. Ernest Cooper says, if Chauvin is acquitted, then why would anyone be surprised? Disappointed? Yes. Surprised? Not really. Vicky,
I don't think it's surprise. I don't think it's surprise. It's outrage.
I would be outraged.
It's outrage. It's not surprise. It's outrage.
Vicky Smith says,
Yeah.
I believe it was premeditated. He's in the black man killing business, Chauvin. I have some thoughts
Also,
about that too.
there are some people who
I
think
can
that too
believe that.
because they worked at the same establishment they knew each
They
other.
knew each other,
They knew each other.
at
So yeah,
least in
there are some
passing,
people
but
who
they
yeah,
probably knew each other directly.
yeah,
Huh.
so there are some
Hmm.
people who believe that as well. So that's not a far-fetched idea.
Yeah, no question. Um, yeah. Mike Wolf says even if other police officers wanted to stop him, if they had, their careers would have been over.
Mhm.
So, all right. Any final thoughts? All right.
I don't anticipate really, I don't even think I'm going to watch the verdict.
Oof.
We've been through a lot. So already, it's only, tomorrow's April 1st. I'm still tearing up over the insurrection.
Yeah.
And I don't
So
have the
much.
capacity to take on all of this.
It's a lot.
So I probably will not watch. Like, I'll keep abreast of what's happening via the media, reading, getting commentary from people online, but I'm not watching any of this. I just can't, y'all.
Yeah.
I can't.
I feel you. All right, let's get to the next hot topic.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
Gianni Storm, you wanted to talk about some, we make it a little lighter now. We wanted to talk about
Yeah,
some
give us some shenanigans,
botched
girl.
Botox.
Definitely.
Some botched Botoxes. Is
Definitely.
truth, lies, or shenanigans?
Neo, this is definitely shenanigans. So a Chicago-based blogger has got some praise online for sharing visuals of her drooping eyelid after a bad Botox experience at a medical spa. Whitney Buha, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, posted on Instagram a video compilation of her eye before and after taking the injection. So although Whitney was told that there's not much that she can do to reverse the process, she can speed up the process. So she's been sharing her videos on her speeding up her Botox recovery. Since some of her videos have gone viral, this has prompted the debate over the use of Botox. So Neo, do you mind showing? There we go. Okay, so this is her before and after compilation.
Look at that wonk eye. Woo!
Lord, it almost
So,
looks like the
so what
droopy
is,
eye
she has
is
to just wait
worse.
until it like clears up or something?
Yeah, she has to wait till it clears up. It has to wear off. If you know how Botox works, it's only a
don't.
temporary kind of like hold.
So,
Or it's not, I'm not an
oh.
expert.
So please, Botox is derived from botulism, which is a deadly bacteria to humans. It's been used as chemical warfare since medieval times. What it does is it introduces paralysis of the muscles. So when you see Botox face smile that doesn't move, a face that doesn't emote, these actresses that undergo these horrible procedures and then can no longer do their craft, that's what it is, dude. It's
Oh, I
awful.
want some. I want some.
Please put some. I won't take the COVID vaccine, but put another deadly bacteria in me. Better yet, put it in my face.
Good point, Rob.
Botox has some positive uses as well. Like
It
people
does.
use Botox to treat back spasms. They use Botox to treat migraines. I think what has happened is, in the world of plastic surgery, everyone's looking for that quick fix for the face. And this is what I tell people, don't fuck with your face. Like, even if you get plastic surgery from the neck down and it doesn't go well, it's botched, you could cover up for the rest of your life. But your face is your gold. That's what people see when they see you. So imagine, okay, I'm on Zoom every day with my students. I am on this show at least twice a week. What if I called y'all tomorrow and was like, okay, I got a wonk eye. One eye is up here and the other one is down here because I got, some bad Botox. I'm having a horrible reaction to Botox. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And again, and we'll talk about this, I missed the whole quickfire segment where I presume you guys still spoke about.
Yeah, we talk about straight hand. Yeah.
But that's completely different than this. To me,
That is
this is misusage of a particular drug, of a particular procedure. And I mean, like Rob
She said she got them often. The blogger, she said she would get them often from that spa.
And her eyes told her, stop,
I have,
stop.
I have a friend from college that does this stuff. That does the
Stop.
that does the injections and stuff.
It's
Yeah.
time
I should bring her on the show. I should reach out and try to get her on the show.
I would never, I've asked people, I've had people ask me, because I'm an old lady, y'all. I've had people ask me if I've had plastic surgery or if I would consider it. And I'm like, not on my face. Not on my face. That is the money maker.
I'm
Yeah.
with Daxon on this one though. I
Very.
don't care about this lady. It's her choice. I'm with Daxon on this one.
I mean, we
Yeah, it
don't
is her
care about
choice.
her. No, I don't care about
Yeah.
her. No, but
The question was, would you guys get Botox?
Oh, that was a question.
Well, not for cosmetic surgery. I wouldn't get it for cosmetic surgery at all. But listen, I've had a migraine before, and I wanted to jump out of the damn window.
I can't lie about the migraines.
It was awful.
Horrible.
If it was worked for migraines, I would. If it was something for migraines, and I have them.
Same.
But that's different for aesthetic purposes, like for cosmetic surgery, because you want to alter the way that you look. Again, I'm bringing it back to embrace yourself. Just be beautiful. Accept your standard of beauty.
Love
because
yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
So
we have.
I missed Michael Strahan.
Yes.
Strahan. There is no D in his name, Michael Strahan. And I think people are being a little hypocritical when they talk about Michael Strahan. And first of all, be advised that tomorrow is April Fool. Tomorrow is April Fool's Day. So he could very well show up on Good Morning America with his gap again. So let's be on the lookout. Everybody get up in the morning and watch Good Morning America tomorrow.
That's true.
I mean, people get their teeth fixed all of the time. I am currently going to be my dentist's mistress, if you will, over the next couple of months because I'm having a whole bunch of dental work done. So I don't fault him for doing it. If he's the one that has to live with his gap every day, not all of us. Not all of us.
But he's been living with it for like 40-something years now.
But maybe now he feels comfortable in finally doing it up. Listen, Faye Dunaway got braces at 61. Okay? At 61. So, but that ain't giving you the Wonka.
The Wonka. Well, I gotta play it again.
That ain't giving you the Wonka. You know,
and what's sad about that?
Weird
I
to
mean,
look at.
she's a reasonably attractive woman. So
She is
what
pretty.
So what standard of beauty is she exposed to that made her feel like she needed an injection in her face to make her look a certain way? Okay, and I'd fault the media because depending on where you are internationally, where you live on the planet, the standard of beauty is different depending on where you are culturally. So why can't we just accept that we have a natural beauty and that wasting medical resources?
I agree.
But the thing is, your idea of natural beauty may not be her idea of natural beauty. She may not see herself the way you see her.
And I fault the media, and I fault the media for that, for shoving a standard of beauty in your face for decades.
Okay, you could fault the media, but that's still not solving the problem. And also, people do have body dysmorphia. Like, there's a lot that goes on with this.
That is true.
I'm not gonna fault nobody for fixing their teeth. I'm just not gonna do that. Like, that's just kids get braces at 10. So I'm not gonna fault anybody for fixing their teeth. However, the Wonka,
you keep us with the
doing it again.
I'm sorry. Kevin Thaxton just posted something funny. Kevin Thaxton just said, "Was she trying out for the Phantom of the Opera?"
Shut up.
Jazzy Jono on TikTok, he's like, Jazzy Jono's like, be nice. I want my teeth fixed so deeply. But sometimes
it's an issue for a lot of people.
It
really is.
But
I've always hated the gap in my teeth. And I blame my mother, who is no longer with us. But, my doctor told my parents that I needed braces when I was like 11, maybe even a little bit earlier than that. And my sister probably wasn't privy to this conversation, but she's watching. My mother was like, nah, she doesn't deserve braces. Okay, so I didn't get braces. Like, I was one of the few kids that wanted braces. wanted them desperately.
Wow.
So now
Yeah.
I have to deal with this not. Plus, I had extra baby teeth. Like my tooth that fell out back in January was a baby tooth, and so it was a baby
So, wow.
tooth.
So, what does a tooth fairy bring for
Oh.
baby tooth shed in your adult years? Like, I mean, the inflation on it. That's amazing.
I gave myself a couple of Benjamins. I gave myself
A couple of Benjamins. Jazzy Jonas said, yeah, but sometimes your insides don't match the outside beauty. And Chaotic Neutral Pod is on Instagram as well. Said hello. Sherry Blaine says, I love Lizzie Enders. Ernest Cooper. Ernest Cooper says, is that the only cosmetic surgery she has done? Probably not.
Ernest, would you get cosmetic surgery? I'm talking to, and not just Ernest. I'm not saying that as a knock on Ernest. You know, Ernest is my boy, whatever. We go way back. But I'm asking Ernest as well as the gentleman, my male co-host. Would you get cosmetic surgery?
I told you missed the part where I said I would consider lipo, but that was it.
Yeah.
But see,
anything
Neil,
on your face.
If you get botched lipo, that's fine because you can cover it up. We ain't gotta see it. I don't know what your stomach looks like.
That's right.
That's between
I wouldn't mess with my face at all.
But Neil, even that, I mean, if you're doing your Top Gun volleyball after a botched lipo, people are going to go, man, what is that? What is that?
You never see me like that anyway. Monica Alicia says, migraines ain't no joke. Matt Davis since a money icon. All right. Mike Wolf says, Lizzie, it's easy for you and me to say we're already so pretty.
I know, baby. Hey, Michael.
Jazzy Jono 6 also says, yeah, don't that's true. Don't touch that my damn face. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let me
tell you. Money maker, y'all. It's the money maker. It's the money maker.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. So we got some background noise. Anybody hear the background noise?
Yeah, it's definitely an echo.
All of a sudden.
All right.
That's the Botox injection.
The Botox. It's the Botox. All right, let's get on to it.
Truth, lies,
thank you, Gianni. Good topic. Good topic.
All right, Robbie, you're a little pissed about some liars getting on planes and putting everyone in danger. Is this truth, lies, or shenanigans?
True shenanigans, once again. Yeah. So, as we all know, there's a pandemic that's been going on for the last year, and most countries have made negative COVID tests mandatory for passengers that are traveling by air. And now tourists are reportedly obtaining fake test results to get around these entry requirements. This is something that's happening internationally and in a variety of ways. So what's happening is, for example, in France, there was a group of 7 people who were arrested in September because they were selling falsified digital certificates intended specifically to prove negative corona test virus. So it's happening at a digital level. The group was discovered because of a traveler that was traveling from France to Ethiopia, and this is how they discovered it. So these fake test results are selling for about $180 to $360 a piece, and the fines associated with this in France is 5 years in prison and up to $445,000 in fines. So substantial. In South America, some falsified tests have already started to show up, but rather than buying fake test results, they are suspecting it's the local authorities that are altering their own results. So there's bribery and corruption happening at the system level. And another case in UK, a traveler going to Pakistan, he was quoted as saying, you can simply get a negative test and change the name and birth date to your own. You can also put a test date on, which is within the time limit required. And people are doing this because of the constraints and whatever reasons they have to travel. So I am asking my co-hosts what they think of this practice and what types of penalties should these people be facing?
Death. Because
oh my God.
Because they could possibly kill me with their COVID asses. So death. If you think death is a little too much, okay, exile. Get out of here. Give me your passport. Get out of here. Don't come back no mo, no mo, no mo.
This is
Come
tough.
on now.
Okay.
We gotta start getting serious with
This
these
is
folks who
tough.
throw their money
Yeah.
around, and put the rest of us at risk. Like I'm sick of it. Y'all know how long it took me. And I mean, Neo got his first injection. I'm not sure about Gianni. I'm not sure about Rob in Canada. But it took me forever to get my first vaccine. And I didn't do it through the government systems. I had to go backdoor, even though I should be on a list to be a priority.
Yep.
And so to see that people are faking, just so they could travel, I want to travel too. Like I am an international girl. I go out of the country. I travel a lot every year. I've barely left my apartment since March 19th of 2020. I want to go see Robin Jose in Canada. I want to go see my goddaughter in Finland. I want to go to Monaco. I want to go to South America. Like I want to go all these places too. But I'm playing by the rules and they are not. So death or exile. Death or exile.
I don't know. That's sort of like saying death or exile for reckless driving. I mean, you put people in danger on the road when you're reckless driving.
Listen. If you were those two little teenagers in DC who carjacked someone the other day,
that was
reckless
awful.
driving,
Oh, that was crazy.
Oh, that was bad.
to you
Dang,
too. Death exile to you. Don't get me started, Neo.
All right,
that
we
was
can't make
horrible.
Lizzie a judge anywhere because I don't want to be in front of
She
Lizzie.
rules with an iron fist.
Make her a judge in the Thunderdome.
Right.
We're gonna take care of this now.
Oh, Jazzy Jono, I'm sorry. I see Jazzy Jono says I lost my father to COVID, so all of that is a no-go. Yeah, that's sad. Johnny, what do you think, Johnny?
I don't feel like it should be a harsh punishment only because let me give you an argument for people that still kind of are the reason why people would, doctor these documents that are supposed to be like official is because you're not allowed to travel, right, without having a negative test. So what if they don't want the vaccine for a specific reason? Or what if, like you guys have said, that there's given the explanation as to how the vaccine can help and all of that, what if people still choose not to have the vaccine, but the only way is to be vaccinated? And so they're making I'm not saying it's right, but I understand why.
I kind of, if I can build on that before you guys go, if I can build on that, which, another example might be, for example, if your mom is sick with COVID and you need to go see her, or if you need to go, a family member's ill or your child, or you need to get home to your family. Some people, um, want to do that. I think some of the reasons are invalid. There are some reasons to do that, obviously, but they have to be like extreme.
Yes.
But go ahead, you guys can respond. I think I know where you guys were going.
I was just going to say that as it relates to, not getting a vaccine but still needing or wanting to travel, people forget that outside of the US, there are certain vaccine requirements that you have to fulfill before you can travel to certain countries. It's not carte blanche.
Yep.
Just because you have a passport, you can go
Oh.
anywhere you choose in the world. You have to get vaccines to go to certain countries.
Yeah.
A lot of countries don't see, the United States as the leader of the free world, this utopia as we see ourselves. They're just like, they are all infected. So you better get your shot before you even attempt to come see us. And if you don't want to get your shot, then stay home.
Yep.
Then you're being given a choice. And unfortunately, in some instances, that choice is a harsh reality for a lot of people. But we have to y'all watch the Walking Dead, don't you? We have to think about the greater good, the greater population. And if you have a loved one that you need to get to, and the only thing that's standing in between you and your loved one is a vaccine, come on, bruh. Come on.
Yeah. And I have to echo what Liz is saying. You need to travel to certain areas of the world, you need certain vaccinations, and it's mandatory, it's compulsory. And if you require medical documentation to travel somewhere, and you're presenting fraudulent documents, fraudulent information, this is your travel documents along with your passport. I'm with Liz. Exile, 100%. It's okay. So you know what? You have now been barred. You have now been barred entry into this country for the rest of your life. Go get your COVID shot. Maybe you can visiting a neighboring country. Maybe you can go somewhere else warm. Sure, but this is for tourist travel, Johnny. I understand that there are compassionate reasons for traveling, and that's a completely different category. But if you're going to invest time and money into falsifying supporting documentation that's required to travel internationally or across a border, that nation reserves the right to incarcerate you, to send you back home, to bill your country for all of these things so that your country can bill you back. No, they need to be very harsh with these people because they're being selfish and they're endangering the greater international population. If you want to stay at home and be an asshole, stay at home and be an asshole. If you want to do it on somebody else's turf, no, you're going to be dealt with by their rules.
Yeah, I'm trying to. As soon as I get my vaccine, I'm trying to go to Turkey Caicos. So they've got a bunch of rules there. So
Well, and that's the thing. Like, remember the story we did, I think maybe a couple of months ago, about the young lady who went down to the Caribbean?
The jet ski girl who she went to support her jet ski boyfriend, and then she took the ankle monitor off to go to the competition.
Jail. They threw her ass in
See,
jail.
I agree with jail.
Yeah.
I agree with jail and fines. I don't know about all this exile. I mean, exile, if it's a tourist thing, obviously never come back to my country. But
Listen, it's a privilege to live here.
I can understand
But
it's
if
a
it's
territory
domestic,
thing.
It's a privilege
It's not
to
right.
live in a country.
Right.
It's a privilege to live here. You don't have the right to live in the United States. If the government deems you a threat, get out. Get out.
Look at these comments. So Jazzy Jono and TikTok says, then don't travel. I've been at home with 6 children for the past year, home all day, every day. There's no excuse. We've got Demetrius McMillan. I feel you, Cuzzo. Tuskegee Project in the federal prison system.
This is not to. This is let me just. I have to interject here. This is not Tuskegee, and this is one of the levels of misinformation and misconceptions about the Tuskegee Project. No one was injected with anything during the Tuskegee Project. That was the issue. You had a bunch of people who thought that they were going to be helped by the government. They all had syphilis. Some had syphilis. The majority had syphilis, but some did not. But they thought they were going to be treated for syphilis and they were going to be monitored accordingly. However, the government lied to them. The government didn't give them any treatments. The government just sat there and documented how they responded to basically dying and deteriorating without any treatment. They didn't give them any penicillin, any medicine, nothing. That was Tuskegee. Tuskegee was not about injecting people with syphilis. It was the complete opposite. Just so we're clear.
Ephraim Holly Slash says, consider as a medical weapon to harm another human being, and the penalty be in prison and money payment, he suggests. Terry Blaine says, love Robbie Rock's analysis. Stay at home and be an asshole.
And we're all entitled to that. We're all entitled to that.
And Kevin Daxon said, kind of agree with Lizzie. They should be sent to Antarctica wearing only silk undies. All right. All right, let's get on our last hot topic. This is going to be Lizzie and...
Let's not infect Antarctica. One of the most, the last sacred places we have on this earth. Let's not infect Antarctica, because that's going to be another one of my hideouts, when push comes to shove.
All right, Lizzie, you came across some more nonsense this week. Lil Nas X, Old Town Road fame, is trending.
I didn't come across this. This story found me and wouldn't leave me alone.
Truth, lies, and shenanigans.
It is truth and shenanigans, but more shenanigans. So Lil Nas X, rapper Lil Nas X, of the Old Town Road fame. Remember Old Town Road?
Let's use rapper loosely. We'll use rapper loosely.
How was he not
He's an artist. He's a rapper,
How is he not
singer,
a rapper?
person,
Loose.
duo.
Loose.
Entertainer.
He's not a rapper.
Entertainer. I go with entertainer.
Yeah,
He
entertainer.
raps.
I would. Yeah, I take
He
that.
raps, doesn't he?
I mean, if you want to call it that, yeah, I give
So why wouldn't you call it that?
Because it's
I
not
love when
old
Lizzie
school.
does
Neo's
that.
not buying it.
these labels, man. These labels.
So Robbie, so next time we gonna get on. So you're not a musician. You're not a guitar player.
Some people feel
You're not
that
a
way about
rapper?
me.
No,
No, I'm
Robbie,
not a rapper.
you are legit.
I
You
can.
are legit, Robbie.
Yeah, you are
You're
legit. You're legit, Rob.
But Lil Nas X, of the Old Town Road fame, which was a huge hit
Huge.
2 years ago. But even at that time, there was some resistance to him. You know, Country Music America didn't want him because, one, he was black. Let's call a spade again. But also, they said that his genre of music wasn't country. But also, there was once he came out as homosexual, there was a huge pushback, and he'd been kind of, hyping up to his next surprise for us, if you will. So this week, Lil Nas X decided that he was going to partner with this company in Brooklyn, New York, to hype his latest single, latest video. I think it's called Montero, which has a lot of satanic themes, a lot of themes with the devil, whatever. But he also partnered with this company to create a Satan shoe. Satan shoe that cost $1,018. A Satan shoe which was based off of a Nike prototype. So what they did was they bought a Nike shoe and they customized it. So this is not a shoe that was approved by Nike or what have you. And if you are a sneakerhead, if you will, if you are into sneaker resales, there are tons of customized shoes. I have 2 pair. I have tons of pairs of legitimate Nikes, but I also have 2 pair of altered Nikes. You could customize it to anything you want. They decided to customize it in the name of the devil, in the name of Satan, in the name of Lucifer. There's a pentagram, there's a 666 or whatever. And so before I even knew what this, I didn't know when the story hit me, I didn't know what it was about. I don't listen to Lil Nas X, even though I buy that he's a rapper. I don't like his music, but
He's a country music star. What are you talking
do you, bruh? But then I saw all of this nonsense.
He's a
and
pop
I'm like,
star.
what? We got Satan shoes now? Oh my God, we are worshiping the devil? Okay. I mean, I remember Black Sabbath. I remember all of, the people who use devil 666 in their musicians who use the devil or use references to the devil in their marketing. Y'all remember 3 6 Mafia? The rappers? They acknowledged that the 666 was about Satanism. They purposely, it wasn't, some underground wing. No. DJ Paul from 3 6 Mafia said, I rapped about Satan. That was supposed to be my image back then. So this threw people for a loop. You had NBA players calling Lil Nas X out. Of course, you had the Republicans and the religious right calling Lil Nas X out, but also the Black community, because Black folks love them some Jesus. They love religion, and this was an affront. This was offensive to everything they stood for. So my question to the panel: did it offend you? And also, the shoes included blood.
One drop.
Blood.
Single drop.
A drop of blood in the manufacture. Yeah.
I kind of don't believe that.
But listen, Angelina used to walk around with blood in a little vial that she had around her neck. So
it was weird. He did.
About blood?
Apparently, the blood was from the employees of the modified shoe company, whoever the company that modified the shoe.
So, what do you guys think? Did it offend you?
Offend me?
Any of it?
Let's start with Gianni Storm. I want Gianni Storm's perspective.
It didn't personally offend me.
But also, Gianni,
it didn't personally.
You're in Atlanta,
Sorry.
so also give us if it offended you. But also, what were people saying in Atlanta?
Yeah, that's a good question actually, because me personally, no, it didn't offend. I don't. It just didn't. I did have a religious background, as you guys know, as a Jehovah's Witness. Of course, it would naturally offend religious people. But spiritual people, I don't think it would really. It shouldn't offend anyway. But I do want to get to the question you asked about the people in Atlanta, because there is a heavy LGBTQ plus community out here. So some people, a lot of the LGBTQ plus felt like they understood him, because I think that something he said was, people already demonize who I am. So you know what? I'll take that. I'll be that and make the best of it. So with that being said, a lot of the people supported him. A lot of, LGBTQ plus people supported him and felt where he was coming from. They understood why he was twerking on the devil and then snapped his neck and became the devil. Like they understood the symbolism in it. Yeah, he was really wilding. He was going crazy. He was really going crazy. So, but I understand also why people, and this is what me and Robin, Liz, were talking about earlier, about why Christians or why religious people would feel offended, because I thought, well, isn't this, it's kind of like taking the Bible and like pooping on it or something, like doing something disrespectful to like, or like the flag, the American flag, and burning it for no reason, like something like that. But as we spoke about it, it's like those, like the symbolism isn't actually Christian, basically. It's been here before Christianity and a lot of these religions, and the religions just adopted them. So really, they have no reason to be offended. But I personally am not offended. I'm not going to say it's my favorite video, but I mean, the devil's ugly. I had nightmares as a kid about the devil and that face and stuff like that.
Well, the shoe sold out in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
The shoes sold out in 6 seconds, but now the shoes, so Nike is now suing the manufacturer or the company that alters the shoes, and also suing Lil Nas X. And they got an injunction from the courts so that
But people have been altering. People have been altering Nike shoes for decades.
Forever.
But mostly it's a little bit different than this, because mostly people alter Nike shoes on a personal level. They're not selling them.
There's people that are selling the altered Nike shoes. Matter of fact, this wasn't even their first shoe.
No, Mischief does this.
To that degree.
If you're talking about the Jesus shoe, no one knew about the Jesus shoe that Nike had months ago. That was some underground. Well, it wasn't Nike. It was someone altered a shoe and called it a Jesus shoe. But that was on some underground level. But this was a marketing campaign. Most shoes that are altered like this don't have a campaign.
Nike's been letting people do this for decades. And the reason Nike lets them do it is because it creates a secondary market, which makes their shoes premium.
Oh yeah.
And so they make a ton. They make a killing.
But you also can't guard. You can't police someone altering a shoe. They would be in the court
because you can in the sense that it affects their trademark.
But not a company, but not as frequently as it is done.
Right, that's the problem.
Because they would be in litigation all day.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
The problem for Nike was, this was a pop star, this was a rap star who aligned with the company, to alter their shoe, that people thought they were devil worshippers.
Yeah. I don't know that.
Yes.
I'm curious to see where this goes, actually, because like I said, they've been doing this for years, and Nike has made a killing because
people came out and said they were devil. This was a bad PR.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that though.
It's different from Colin Kaepernick, because the Colin Kaepernick shoe was Nike's idea. This was not Nike's idea, and they have the right to say, okay,
that's not what I'm talking about.
You're not going to do this to our name. You're not going to do this to our name.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I'm curious to see where this goes, because like I said, Nike has been doing this for years, allowing people to do this and make a mark, doing exactly what they've done. Matter of fact, like I said, this wasn't even their first shoe. This particular company has done it multiple times prior to this shoe and made money off of it.
Shoe.
But let me just finish my thought.
How
finish the
well did
thought.
they market it though?
Let me just finish the
How
thought.
much publicity did they get?
Let me just finish the thought.
That's the key.
Can I just finish
That's the
the thought?
key. No, you can't.
Clearly. All I'm saying is that Nike has allowed it, and they have allowed it, and there are people who've marketed it, and they've marketed and all that stuff. All I'm saying is they've allowed it, and what it does, it creates a premium for Nike shoes. And Nike has made a lot of money being a premium shoe company. So as long as they continuously are, so they're happy that they've been happy that people will modify their shoes and make it because it shows their logo all the time. They go on
But what
they
they're
go on
saying
Instagram and they
is,
go
this
on
is not going to
TikTok
make us
and
money.
they're showing their
What they're saying is, this is not going to make us money. What they're saying is, we've had
yeah, but that's the problem. They're picking and choosing.
but they're allowed to. It's their shoe. And what they're saying is that this has affected us negatively. The other shoes didn't. This did. They've had big time athletes.
But they have made a killing off of that positive stuff.
But what you're not getting is,
and the negative one, because like you said, it's sold out.
But they don't get any money from it selling out.
All right, Robbie, you got to get in here real quick. We're out of time.
That's
true. No, but let me finish.
Okay, good.
They've had athletes who are threatening to pull out of contracts with Nike as a result of this, and that's not.
It's hurting their name, their brand.
They have every right to say copyright infringement and stop it.
I'm just curious what the precedent is going to be.
I get what you're saying, Neo, where Nike's playing it both ways, where it's being played both ways. But
they are.
As far as whether I found the shoe offensive, no, that's a kick-ass looking shoe. Look at it. That's a beautiful.
I like the shoe.
And for myself, as a musician, something that looks pretty badass, kick-ass, and is comfortable, I would wear that on stage. Hell yes, I would, because it's iconography that lends itself well to heavy music that I enjoy playing. But it's just iconography, and it's only as powerful as we let it to be. The pentagram is an ancient symbol that predates Christianity by thousands of years. It was appropriated by Christians, and then it represents the 5 wounds of Jesus. And now, because of wickedness, just in more modern times, it has been attributed to devil worship, and it never ever was. The drop of blood, big deal. It's a kick-ass looking shoe. That's it. Like it really is an impressive looking shoe. I like it. I wouldn't spend $1,000 on it.
I didn't think, because as we were promoting this show, is Lizzie getting the Satan shoe? Hell no. I have a closet full of Nikes. Okay, I like more than I care to count. Probably almost
more than you care to count,
if you will.
She's gonna tell on herself.
That shoe was not cute to me. Like, if it was a cute shoe, and notice they didn't pick a Jordan brand shoe, by the way, because Michael Jordan would not have any of.
Would not have that. Yeah, no.
Jordan brand shoe. They picked kind of an ambiguous.
I've seen people do Jordans. I've seen people modify Jordans.
No, what I'm saying is they didn't pick a Jordan brand to put 666 blood in it and call it a Satan shoe.
But we're talking about it. 50 million people have watched the music video.
And how many times have we said the word Nike?
He is lashing out. He's lashing back at those that attacked him. So, okay, you want to demonize me? All right, I'm coming back to you with the Christian devil. Aha!
Suck that. Going to be okay in this. Nike has a right to protect their brand, but Nike is always going to be okay in this. Lil Nas X might not be, because if he loses the lawsuit against Nike, I don't know how much money.
They're not suing him. They're only suing the company, from what I read.
But then the company can extract money that they've paid to him for this shoe.
Depends on
to cover what Nike is getting from them.
Depends on the contract.
Has he lost people? Because again, people are not just taking on the idea of, he's promoting Satanism, if you will, but they're going back to the anti-homophobia, and he has ruffled a lot of feathers in the aftermath of this. So the question becomes, does this benefit him in the long run? Does this
Mike Wolf made a brilliant comment about this. Anyone who does feel offended by this needs to check their values. They really should be more appalled and offended by Nike's labor policies, their labor practices historically
Slave
and
labor.
ongoing.
Child labor.
Exactly. So if we're going to be offended about something, let's be offended about what's real. We have real world examples. We know what's going on, as opposed to what might offend my sensitivities. No, let's take care of the people first.
Well, I mean, if we're going to be offended by, and this will be my devil's advocate, if we're going to be offended by Nike and their,
we got to close this down. This is last thought.
If we're going to be offended by Nike, then we have to be offended by every single apparel company that we're wearing right now, unless you make it a point not to wear a company that is producing their products overseas. I'm talking about us and the majority, and including the people who are butthurt over this. Like Rob said, including the people who are butthurt over this. Like, you can't be mad at Nike and not be mad at everybody else.
Sorry, guys.
Kevin ain't nobody. Don't listen to him. He ain't nobody.
Oh my God, Kevin.
We gotta be consistent with it.
All right.
We gotta be consistent.
All right, let me get to these comments. So Jazzy Jono's on TikTok. Love the comments, Jazzy. So the video is whack as fuck.
I haven't even seen the video.
and he also says those are my favorite pair of shoes. He has 3, minus the blood. He says.
Who has 3?
Minus the blood.
Jazzy Jono,
so
6.
The shoe style. The shoe style minus the blood.
We're gonna have to compare shoe collections, because I guarantee you, I have some better looking Nikes, some better looking kicks than those.
Sarah Thaxter said, "Kids need to work, lazy little human."
Oh my God.
So that means he's in support of Nike slave labor.
That's what he was saying. Yeah. He's joking though. But Olivia says, "I'm not offended, but the shoes look like trash. Chick-fil-A ones look better." Oh yeah, I don't like those either. But Kevin also said the pole dancing offended me. My stripper friends are way better.
We ain't buying no Chick-fil-A either.
All right, that's the last of the hot topic. That's a good hot topic. We definitely way over time. We're gonna make this real short. This game show.
Lies, shenanigans.
All right, let's get our game show in.
That means he's gonna be on cheating level 500 tonight, y'all.
Yes, no question.
Cheat.
He said, "Make it quick."
Everybody answers Jesus to everything.
Actually, see. All right, so today's game show, fired by the Satan Shoes. We're doing some Bible trivia. I'm gonna ask each of you a question, and you're just gonna tell me is this a truth or a lie. You get a point if you get it right, and the person with the most points wins. And we're just gonna yell it out, so you just say it. The tree of life was located in the Garden of Eden. Is this true or false?
True.
True. What if we think it's all a lie? That's my
Give your answer.
By the biblical account. By the biblical account.
Yes, by the biblical account. According to the
we're
Bible,
going with true.
By the script, it's true.
All right.
It's true.
Everybody gets a point. All right. Jael killed Sisera with a tent peg.
I don't even know.
Was Sisera a vampire?
I don't even know who these people are, so I can't help you. I wish I could give you some clues, but
I'm gonna say true.
I'm gonna go true. Sure, why not?
Sounds right.
Is it?
Sounds wrong.
I think it's
right.
Wrong. Definitely your pronunciation was wrong.
Oh, then no question. I don't doubt that either. You going with true? Okay, we're all going with true. All right.
False.
I like that.
Oh, you said false. Okay, you lose a point. Great. That's good. I'm glad you got it in there. Johnny Storm, Robbie Rock, 2 points. All right. Abraham was buried with his wife, Sarah. Is this truth or a lie?
No.
I'm going to say false.
I'm pretty sure Sarah died way before Abraham.
I mean, you
can still be buried with her.
My dad died way before my mama, but they're
people
together.
are digging up old graves.
So what you going with?
Really?
Yeah, just to 5 feet, and then you put the other layer on top.
You don't think that's weird? That's gross.
You going with true or false?
Leave them.
What do you It's
I think
family
it's
platform.
Liz.
All right.
I think it's
False.
I think it's false.
False
it's
is
true.
wrong. Abraham was buried with his wife Sarah.
Wow.
I don't know if that's true. Because
Right? It doesn't even sound true.
Noah's father was Lamech.
Noah?
You see how he's trying to jump over, trying to get some truth on the last question, right? You feel me, Johnny?
I'm gonna
No,
say false.
I know. I saw it. I see it.
Say false. All right.
I think it's false. I don't even sound normal.
False.
Or right.
Everybody says false. Oh, that is incorrect. Noah's father was actually Lamech. All right, last
not his
question.
dad's
Last
name.
question. Last question for Bible trivia. See, we got Gianni Storm, Robbie Rock in the lead. The
True,
head of Peter
true.
was ordered on a platter. The head of Peter
True.
was
So
ordered
what?
on a platter. Is this truth or lie?
True.
The head of Peter what?
Was ordered on a platter.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. True.
True.
According to my phone.
That is incorrect. All right.
Oh.
So between Robbie Rock, Gianni Storm, let's see. We got one more. Jonah spent 3 days and nights in the lion's den. True or false?
False.
No, wasn't he in that whale? He was in the whale. But it was
Daniel
false.
was with the
Oh,
lions.
man, you guys
Daniel
know
was
your
with the
trivia
lions.
too much. All right. So Jezebel murdered Naboth for his vineyard.
True. That sounds
He
biblical.
sure did. He sure.
You know your trivia too much. Okay. The hair of Absalom was caught up in the oak tree. This is the very last one.
Oak
The
tree.
what?
The hair of
The
hair
Absalom
of
was caught up
Absalom.
in an oak
Oak
tree. True or
tree.
false?
I only know Samson's hair in the Bible.
Oak
I'm
tree.
gonna say false.
False.
I only know Samson's
Oh,
hair.
I think you're the same answer.
So
All right, I'm going to just pick a winner.
Hanson, I'm the
That was
best. I didn't
incorrect.
get
It was
that.
true. The hair of Absalom was caught in a tree. And I am going to give the win. It's been a while since Robbie's won. So Robbie Rock, you win the game. Good job, Robbie Rock.
Day in the time. Oak tree. Shout out to Morris Day in the time. Oak tree.
All right, let's get some shout outs in. We got like 2 minutes. All right, Gianni Storm, shout out. Cassie says Lizzie is in
Shout
her own
out
world. Sorry. It made
Shout
you
out
laugh.
to all of the Aries. It's still Aries season, so shout out to you, Aries. I don't have any Aries best friends, but whoever's in Aries.
All right, Robbie Rock.
Shout out to my host. It feels like it's been a while since we haven't had a guest, and it's just been the four of us. This was wonderful. Wonderful.
was
Just
fun.
having fun and just, yeah, it was a good time. And of course, to our audience members for being so interactive. Special shout out to Jazzy Jono. Thank you for sharing, and our condolences for your for the loss of your father to COVID. That's it's important that people speak up and let people know that you know someone who's been affected by this, because so many people, it's just, you don't know anyone that's died from COVID, do you? Yeah. You know what? We do.
We do. We do.
Yeah.
We know a few. Lizzie, shout out.
Just shout out to my students. It's been a rough week, and I had some sad stories from my students today about how they are coping this semester. And I too have kind of hit a wall. So shout out to my students. Shout out to all the teachers out there that are dealing with students and education throughout this pandemic. It has not been easy, y'all. It really has not. So
That's the
shout
truth.
out.
And my shout out is similar to yours, a little bit sad. My boy, my bestie, Jam, he's having a really tough time right now. You might remember Jam. He was going to be celebrating our 1 year anniversary on Sunday of the show, and he was with us on the show. He's having a really rough time. Found out some information, so I'm sending best wishes out to you, my boy Jam. All right.
Send some love, Jam.
And hey, if you have a business,
Sending
event,
feelings.
or person you want to give a shout out to, follow our hosts on social media and reach out to any of them on their social media feeds. And we may just shout you out, so make sure you like, follow, and follow everyone. You'll see us at the bottom of the screen where you can find it. So that is all, folks. All the time we have for today. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. We hope that maybe you learned something, gained a new perspective, or even got some things off your chest. Like, follow, subscribe, share at TLSLiveShow. Or check out the YouTube for clips the YouTube for clips of your favorite moments from the show.
The YouTube.
TLSShow.com. Or search Truth Live Shenanigans. And we have a new Facebook group, TLS Pet Shenanigans. Share your videos and pictures of your furry or not so furry friends, and we'll be picking our pet shenanigans of the week and featuring you and your pet on both unscripted and Truth Live Shenanigans. Our next live show is on Sunday, April 4th, Easter. And it's our 1-year anniversary, and we are celebrating with some of our super fans. Yanni is going to be reaching out to some of you guys this week, some super fans. So it's going to be a fun party. So make sure you join us. Look out for that. And Gianni Storm and Olivia go unscripted Friday night, 6:30 p.m. on Instagram. And our winner for today's show goes to Robbie Rock. And you get the final thought for the day, Robbie Rock. What's our final thought?
So, final thought based off of some of the topics that we took on tonight. Take a good look in the mirror and find the things that are beautiful in you. Focus on those things, the perfections in your body. And even the tiny flaws that you find, those are the unique tweaks of you. You're beautiful. And remember that.
Love that. Love that message. Thanks, Yanni, Rob, Lizzie.
I'm beautiful with my tweaks.
Yes.
Yes.
And our people behind the scenes, Jose and Olivia. Most importantly, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. We'll see ya.
Truth, lies, shenanigans. Truth, lies, shenanigans. Truth, lies, shenanigans. Truth, lies, shenanigans.